Hey, like Muhammad Ali says, the will got to be stronger than the skills. Today wasn't about skills. Today was about will strength. And I knew the type of fighter I was fighting. This guy's a triathlon athlete, for crying out loud. And if I was tired, I knew he was more tired because I worked very hard for this. He's never been 12 rounds before. So we knew we had to break him down. Body shots were hurting him. But this is what it's all about, fighting the best. This is the fight game. You know, this is what we signed for.
The boxing world is reeling as Teofimo Lopez stunned everyone by announcing his retirement following a crushing loss to Shakur Stevenson at Madison Square Garden. What was meant to be the biggest night of Teofimo's career quickly turned into one of the most painful and emotional moments in recent boxing history when he revealed he was stepping away from the sport immediately. Just hours after the defeat in front of a packed MSG crowd, Teofimo sat down for a post-fight interview that is already being remembered as one of the most shocking moments of 2026. Fighting back emotion and speaking in a visibly defeated tone, Lopez delivered words that sent shockwaves throughout the entire combat.
You can't tell me I'm not great. You cannot tell me I'm not the double greatest since Muhammad Ali. This is what I do. This is what I do best. Now, just to steer it up, I might retire after this. Retirement, man. I'm kind of tired.
Sports world. Teofimo spoke with visible pain, saying, "I'm done. I gave everything I had tonight, and it wasn't enough. I can't keep doing this to myself and my family. This is my last fight." The announcement came completely out of the blue, with no one in attendance or watching from home expecting such a dramatic declaration from the former lightweight champion. Social media erupted immediately after those words left Teofimo's mouth, as fans reacted with shock, sadness, and disbelief that this could truly be the end. However, before diving deeper into the retirement announcement and what it means, it's important to look at what actually unfolded inside the ring that broke Teofimo Lopez so completely. The fight itself was
It's millions if you could make hundreds.
Of millions?
Yeah.
You believe you can make hundreds of millions outside of boxing?
I believe so, yes, I do.
Well, I understand where you would get your confidence.
masterclass performance by Shakur Stevenson, who proved once again why he is regarded as one of the most skilled boxers on the planet today. From the opening bell, Shakur controlled the pace, distance, and overall flow of the fight, using his superior boxing skills and defensive mastery to frustrate Teofimo round after round. Teofimo started aggressively in the first 3 rounds, attempting to pressure Shakur and land the big shots his team had promised throughout the buildup. However, Shakur consistently made him miss, responding with clean counterpunches that snapped Teofimo's head back and caught the judges' attention with their accuracy. By the 4th round, the frustration was clearly visible in Teofimo's body language, as nothing he attempted was effective against Shakur's defensive brilliance and high ring IQ. Sources seated ringside said you could hear Teofimo's corner begging him to remain patient and wait for openings instead of recklessly forcing the action. Round 6 was especially punishing for Teofimo, as Shakur landed a crisp 3-punch combination that visibly hurt Lopez and left him clinging to the ropes. The Madison Square Garden crowd exploded when Shakur displayed a killer instinct that critics long claimed he lacked, pressing for the finish and unloading heavy shots on a wounded Teofimo. Lopez somehow made it out of the round, but the damage from Shakur's pinpoint accuracy was already etched on his face, and his eyes reflected a growing desperation for answers that never came. Rounds 7 through 9 were complete domination by Shakur Stevenson, who fought with supreme confidence and made
Well, Shakur, congratulations. Biggest fight of your career, and you come up with looked like the finest performance of your career. Was that the performance you were looking for?
Nah, I came in here to prove a point. It wasn't the performance I was looking for because I came in here trying to prove a point and I was trying to fight.
Teofimo look ordinary. Every time Lopez attempted to generate offense, Shakur shut it down with flawless timing, elite footwork, and sharp counterpunching that not only scored points but also chipped away at Teofimo's confidence. One ringside observer later compared it to watching a chess grandmaster face someone who had just learned the rules, with Shakur staying several steps ahead mentally. Round 10 featured one last desperate surge from Teofimo, as he emptied what remained in the tank in search of a single knockout punch that could change everything. He landed a few solid shots that briefly energized the crowd, but Shakur absorbed them and immediately responded with combinations of his own. The final 2 rounds were difficult to watch for Teofimo Lopez fans.
My opponent was a hell of an opponent. He came here, he pushed me to another level. He made me make adjustments in there, he made me think a little bit. And I had to show y'all that I'm a dog, too. Y'all keep saying that I'm a runner, I'm pillow-fisted, so I kind of stood there in the pocket.
As he appeared completely broken both physically and mentally while Shakur cruised to a clear victory. When the final bell sounded, everyone inside Madison Square Garden knew what the verdict would be, and Teofimo knew it as well, judging by the devastated expression on his face. The scorecards read 118 to 110, 117 to 111, and 119 to 109, all in favor of Shakur Stevenson, in what was ultimately a one-sided beating presented as a competitive fight.
Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, it was a great performance, man. He came in with a game plan. He didn't let up.
Shakur celebrated alongside his team while Teofimo remained in his corner, completely crushed by the realization that his best effort wasn't enough on the sport's biggest stage. The in-ring post-fight interview was short and uncomfortable, with Teofimo giving brief responses and clearly wanting to exit the spotlight as fast as possible. However, it was the later backstage interview that truly revealed how deeply this loss affected him and what was weighing on his mind in those painful moments. Seated in the interview room, his face still showing the marks of the fight, Teofimo opened up about his future in a way rarely seen before. Lopez began by reflecting on the fight, saying, Shakur was the best.
Teofimo Lopez said, listen, everyone knows I won this fight. 90% of the people here were cheering for Lopez coming in. They all booed him after he said that.
Better man tonight. He executed his game plan perfectly, and I couldn't figure him out. Give him credit. The humility in his words stunned many, as Teofimo has long been known for his brash confidence and reluctance to praise opponents, even in defeat. But then Teofimo's tone shifted dramatically as he began discussing what the loss meant for his career and his life beyond boxing. His voice slightly cracking, Lopez said, I've been doing this since I was a little kid. I've sacrificed everything for boxing.
For me and Camp,
my childhood, my relationships, my body, everything.
Very peaceful.
The emotion was clearly building as Teofimo reflected on years of grinding, countless training camps, and the physical punishment.
That didn't shock me. By the way, I don't think he was badly hurt with the first knockout. I think what he was more hurt by was realizing this little motherfucker's coming out there and winning round after round, outlanding him. He knew by the middle of that fight he had to turn something around. And by the way, he gave it a little bit more early in the second half of the fight.
His body has endured. He went on to admit, I thought I had what it takes to be the best. I truly believed I could beat anyone when I'm at my best. But tonight showed me the truth. That raw honesty about confronting his own limitations as a fighter was difficult to watch, especially for fans who have followed Teofimo's journey from the very beginning. The interviewer asked whether this was simply disappointment speaking or if he was truly serious about walking away from boxing at just 27 years old, with so much still left to achieve. Teofimo looked straight into the camera and delivered the words that will define this moment in boxing history for years to come. I'm retiring. This was my last.
If Teo is Gordo and not just coming in trying to hammer damage, if he's Gordo, you got something going. There's gonna be a lot of IQ up in there. Yo, I mean, which one of the two beat Loma? Which one of the two beat Josh Taylor?
Fight. I have nothing left to prove and nothing left to give. I need to think about my family and my health now. The room fell completely silent as everyone tried to process what they had just heard, with the interviewer visibly stunned and struggling to find follow-up questions. Social media exploded the instant those words were spoken, as boxing fans around the world flooded Twitter, Instagram, and every major platform with reactions. One fan immediately tweeted, "No way Teofimo is serious about retiring. He's just emotional right now. Give him a few weeks and he'll be back," referring to potential comeback fights. Another devoted supporter wrote, "This is heartbreaking to watch. Teofimo gave us so many great moments."
Teofimo Lopez, from a degree, he does have a high boxing IQ as well. He does. I mean, he was able to deal with Lomachenko. He was able to deal with Taylor and other guys. You know, he does possess a high boxing IQ. He has that explosiveness or that elite athleticism.
If this is really the end, thank you for everything, champ. The debate quickly ignited over whether this retirement announcement was genuine or simply an emotional reaction to a tough loss that Teofimo might eventually reverse. Many boxing experts and analysts were quick to share their thoughts on social media about the implications for the sport if Teofimo actually follows through. ESPN boxing analyst Timothy Bradley posted, "Teofimo is one of the most talented fighters of this generation. I hope he takes time to think before making this decision final." Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach shared his perspective, saying, "Losing a big fight is crushing, but retiring at 27 is crazy. The kid has at least 5 to 10 more years of elite fighting in him."
But I'm leaning towards Teofimo. Okay. Just because I like him. I like him more. He's a good friend of mine. Okay. And then.
However, some people close to Teofimo's camp weren't entirely surprised by the retirement talk, based on conversations they had with him leading up to the fight. One insider told media members, "Teo told people close to him that if he lost to Shakur, he might be done. He put everything into this camp and this fight." That information lends credibility to the idea that this retirement isn't just an emotional reaction, but something Teofimo had genuinely been considering as a real possibility. During the post-fight interview, Teofimo also spoke about the physical toll boxing has taken on his body throughout his years in both amateur and professional competition. Lopez explained with visible pain, "My hands hurt every day, my back hurts, my head hurts. I'm 27, but I feel like I'm 40 because of..."
He was the world champion. There is no comparison to Shakur's style and my son's style. Yeah. My son is more entertaining. You know what I'm saying? He has more, how you call it? He has more,
There's that impact there.
what you call it when you have a lot of,
All the damage I've taken. These health concerns are very real and reflect a reality many fighters face, but few are willing to discuss publicly while still active. The brain trauma from years of sparring and fighting is being taken more seriously, especially by younger fighters who have witnessed the long-term effects. Teofimo went on to talk about his family and how this loss and possible retirement will affect his relationship with his wife and young son. "My son is getting older. I want to be there for him. I want to be healthy for him. What's the point of being a champion if I can't remember his childhood?" That heartfelt statement struck a chord with many, highlighting that there's more to life than boxing glory and championship belts on the wall. The emotional weight of the moment was evident for everyone in the room, including veteran boxing media members who have covered thousands of...
Granddad is focused, I'm focused, we all locked in on the task, but Teofimo Sr. is nowhere to be found. Last night he was in the lobby, drugged out, head over heels.
I don't gotta worry about that. You focusing on me, B.
Right now,
yes, you is.
He's emotional.
Yes, you is.
That's why he acting
That's why
like
you clowning.
Fights. Teofimo's father, who has been his trainer throughout his career, was visibly emotional in the background and declined to comment when approached by reporters. The relationship between Teofimo and his father has always been intense and complicated, with both the highs and lows of Teofimo's career deeply tied to his dad's influence. Shakur Stevenson, conducting his own victory interviews, was asked about Teofimo's retirement announcement and gave a respectful yet honest response. Shakur said, "I respect whatever decision Teo makes. This is a hard sport. If he feels like it's time to walk away, that's his choice, but he's a hell of a fighter." Shakur's graciousness in victory stood in sharp contrast to the trash talk scene during the build-up, highlighting the respect that exists between true warriors. As news of...
He said he's the last fight with ESPN. Well, he's in no position to say that because Top Rank has an exclusive deal with ESPN, and he'll fight with whatever network we want to put the fight on.
The retirement spread, other fighters and boxing figures began sharing their reactions and perspectives on what it means. Former opponent Vasily Lomachenko posted, "Teofimo is a true warrior. Whatever he decides, he should be proud of his career and accomplishments." Current lightweight champion Gervonta Davis tweeted, "Damn, I was hoping we could run it back one day. Respect to Teo for everything he's accomplished in this sport." The outpouring of support from fellow fighters highlights the respect Teofimo has earned, despite some controversial moments and statements throughout his career. Boxing promoter Bob Arum, who has worked with Teofimo,
Still, the WBC lose for him.
released a statement saying, "I hope Teofimo takes time before making any final decisions about his future in boxing. The reality is that retirement announcements made immediately after devastating losses are often reconsidered once emotions settle and the fighter has time to process. We've seen it countless times in boxing history. Fighters retire in the heat of the moment, only to return months or years later for one more run. However, something in the way Teofimo spoke and the pain in his eyes suggests this might be different from the typical emotional retirements we've seen before. Questions about his legacy are already emerging, as people debate where Teofimo Lopez ranks among the fighters of his generation if this truly is the end. His resume includes victories over Vasily Lomachenko, Richard Cummey, and several other notable opponents, all of which will be remembered as significant achievements. At his peak, Teofimo combined speed, power, and confidence, making him one of the most exciting fighters to watch in the sport. But inconsistency and struggles with motivation have also marked parts of his career, preventing him from reaching his full potential. If Teofimo Lopez truly retires at 27, boxing loses one of its most talented yet also most frustrating fighters, someone who never fully realized his ceiling. The coming weeks will be critical as Teofimo processes this loss, spends time with his family, and determines whether this retirement announcement is final or driven by emotion. For now, the boxing world waits to see if we've truly witnessed the last of Teofimo Lopez, or if this is just another chapter in his unpredictable career. And that's all for now. For the latest updates on news, moments, events, and action in boxing, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications to catch new content like this.